Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I think your far is better. Oh, sorry. Oh, oh, Sanjay Chota Chota Namla, Mother, the Sanjay Show, Sanjay Chota Chota. Chanjoba do the Nigga, the Zonan, Zangia, the solution, Chanjoba to the Nigga Sushi. Like it's in so someone general attention, Sanjay to Barashow. Okay. So last time, we we talk about the we talk about the intermediate state. We talk about the Bardo and I forgot to say good morning to everyone. So we continue with the discussion on the law of karma. Last time we also talked about the Bardo, the account of the one Tagini who wandered through the Bardo intermediate state. So it is important to understand, the nature of the Bardo, because whether because after all, whether we like it or not, we have to go through that path finally, right? When the life ends, we have to go through that journey. So therefore it becomes important, therefore it becomes important to understand the Bardo and try to recognize the Bardo intermediate state. Right now, while we are alive, we have no idea. We have simply no idea what Bardo looks like, what Bardo looks like, and the different kinds of the appearances, the different kinds of the visions, the perceptions that we may experience in the Bardo or intermediate state. So therefore, it is important to understand and the different appearance and the different perceptions of the Bardo while we are alive, because after all, there's nobody coming to tell us.
I'm sorry. We can't hear Vietnamese clearly. Miss Hiền Trang, can you? Chị Trang ơi, chị bật to volume được không ạ? Mọi người nghe tiếng Việt nhỏ quá. Thank you, Gacy.
I see.
Dạ rồi ạ. Ổn rồi ạ. Cảm ơn chị ạ.
Can you hear? Okay. Yeah. So therefore, it becomes important to identify, to understand how the Bardo different experiences of the Bardo and the different perceptions of the Bardo while we are alive, right? And in the intermediate state, in the Bardo state, we may experience the different kinds of perceptions, different kinds of what is called as hallucinations. We go through different different types of hallucinations, one after the another, and also different kinds of the visions, kind of the fears, all these things we are guaranteed to experience these visions. So now the important thing is important thing is to identify, to recognize the Bardo experiences or the appearance as mere appearance. We try to see all the the Bardo experiences or the Bardo appearances as all these illusions, all these mistaken perceptions, the hallucinations, so so therefore it is important to to recognize the Bardo experience as a Bardo experience. When we talk about the Bardo, we are just going to a different place that we haven't experienced. So we because we are traveling to the different world, we are traveling to the different experience, different place. So we have no idea what that place look like. What's things going on over there. So therefore, before we go to that place, that new place, we need to have some idea. We need to have some understanding what that place really look like. Right. So therefore, we need to understand many of the things here. The most important thing is to recognize, to simply recognize, all the experience, all the appearances of the Bardo is like illusion, a dream-like, the dream-like mere illusion. They are not real, right? So in order to see the Bardo experience or the Bardo, the appearances as mere illusion and dream-like, we need to train while we are alive. We need to train in this kind of, the instruction or this kind of the teaching, for example, right, the moon, the reflection of the moon in the water. We all know that the reflection of the moon in the water, the reflection is just a reflection of the moon, but it's not the real moon, right? So from the very beginning, we need to train that things are not real as it appears. The reflection of yourself, the reflection of the image in the mirror is not the real object. the reflection of the the image or object in the water is not the real object. So from by trying to understand in this way, we can then gradually learn the things, things how the illusions are like, Now, for example, right, in the dream, sometimes we have the very joyful dream, when we have the joyful dream, what really happens is, even when we wake up, there's a sense of joy. Even after we wake up, there's a sense of joy. I had a very good dream. I'm happy today. Now, on the other hand, sometimes we also have nightmare. When we have nightmare, sometimes what really happens is, even in the middle of the night, we wake up. We automatically wake up. Even when we wake up in the morning, we have uncomfortable feeling, right? We are unhappy. Your mind is the mind is a little bit upset, not comfortable. So this shows that we still believe in the dream as a real. We believe the dream to be real. Now, again, we need to see the dream as, again, illusion. The dream as not real. The dream is not real. How can the dream be real, right? It's a common sense. It's a logical. If the dream is real, you stay. You live in a small. For example, you live in a small room. If you have a dream of elephant, how can elephant fit in a small room? Right. This shows that dream is not a real. But then the dream, is a very powerful. While we are alive, if we try to see things as mere, unreal, if you try to see things as illusion and unreal, it helps us to see the dream as unreal, right? The dream as unreal. If we are able to see the dream as unreal, then even in the Bardo state, intermediate state, we are able to see all the things as mere illusion, right? Now, for example, how do we go about, seeing the dream experience, seeing the Bardo experience as mere illusion, unreal, is now, for example, usually, I'm not talking here, I'm not talking here necessarily. Now, for example, in the teaching, right, when the teacher is being given the teaching, when the teacher is being given the teaching, what kind of, the motivation, what kind of, thought that we need to cultivate or develop is, now, for example, your place where you are receiving the teaching, right? Where you are receiving the teaching, this place is visualized as pure land. The place is visualized as pure land, and all the people who receive the teaching is visualized as the deities, or the celestial beings. This is how we train, the impure lands, the impure environment as the pure land, as the pure place, and the impure beings are visualized as just the celestial beings. This is one thing. Now, in any teaching, if we if we are able to see in that way, what really happens is it leaves the positive imprint in our mind. Then when the time comes that we need to go to the Bardo, we are able to see the Bardo as the pure land. The Bardo beings as mere the celestial, beings. Right. So there are many different ways of seeing, the Bardo beings as, the Bardo beings as enlightened deities, enlightened beings. The Bardo environment as mere the, the pure land. For example, and also sometimes I think many of you have heard about the practice mandala offering, right? When we offer the mandala, when we do, make the mandala offering for the enlightened beings, what do we visualize? What do we think? We think or visualize that the mandala is which is the, which is the resemblance, which is which is the physical representative of the impure land, impure world system. The limitless number of impure land in the impure world system. We visualize this, all the impure land as the pure land, and all the beings in this impure land, all the impure beings in the impure land is visualized as again the celestial beings. Celestial beings. In this way, we offered the mandala to the enlightened beings. So what you're really offering is all the pure things. There's not a single impure things. We offered all the pure things. All in we are done through imagination. We are doing this through imagination because we are a beginner. As a beginner, we have no strength, we have no power to transform the impure land into the pure land. But then through practice, through practice, when your mind, progress, when the power of your mind progress further and further, and at one point of time that you are able to actually do so. Right now, I'm just an ordinary human being. I'm just ordinary human being. You are also ordinary human being. But then, it is the power of the mind. It is the power of the mind. Your mind and my mind, everybody's mind has such an infinite power. Such an infinite power. The limitless number of power that we sometimes fail to discover it, fail to explore unimaginable things. Just as the external world is sometimes fascinating, external world, when we do see the, the marvelous, the wonders of the world, the external things, we are taken aback. We are totally amazed. Similarly, the more amazing thing is inside our body. Everything is truly, beyond imagination. The only thing is whether we put the, whether we put the effort or not. Each cell in our body, each particles in our body has the capacity to transform into the pure land. But sometimes we don't recognize. right? For example, one time you may have heard of Milarepa, the great yogi Milarepa, right? So his student, the Rechungpa Dojetak, his student Rechungpa, what he Milarepa to test the the devotion of the Rechungpa. He just sent out Rechungpa to bring the water. Then Milarepa was just trying to make some fire. Then Milarepa, miraculously he emanated some the baby donkeys. Some baby donkeys, they are playing very beautifully. Milarepa created such a scene through the power of his mind. So Rechungpa, while going to fetch the water, Rechungpa was so impressed. He really enjoyed the this kind of the baby donkeys playing each other. In the meanwhile, Milarepa burned the black magic text because Rechungpa went to India. He brought many kind of texts. Text is not that actually the Dharma text. Some kind of not that useful for Dharma in one's life. So Milarepa, he burned all this, put all the text into the fire. Rechungpa, when he came back, and he saw that the text that he thought, brought, to great hardship, and then Milarepa burned it. What's going on? So Rechungpa was so enraged. Rechungpa was so upset. He was really upset.
I forgot in the hospital. My mom's surgery.
So Rechungpa was really, upset. He's done with, he thought he's done with Milarepa. So what he did is now, Milarepa addressed Rechungpa. My son, why you are so upset? If you really thought that your text, your kind of some ordinary text, is something really worthwhile. It is really something valuable. I have something more interesting to show you. I have something really more interesting things to show you. So what happened is he, Milarepa just tear apart his heart. Then when he tear apart his heart, he display on his heart, he display the Vajra mandala, and then on his on his head he display the Chalasambara deity, and then his navel he display the Goya Samaja, the complete mandala with all the deities, right? So like this, his whole body is filled with the mandalas. Milarepa display this with all the striking the deities, the complete form of mandalas. So therefore, that's why I say each particles in our body, each cell the limitless number of potential. But sometimes, yeah, we get more, how to say, we are more impressed by the external things. If we really go deep into ourselves, is beyond time and space. That's real, right? So like this, we need to understand, trying to see all the things as mere illusion, the mere dreamlike. And also, for example, you may have heard of the 6 deities, the generation of the 6 deities, right? In the generation of the 6 deities, what is the essence? What really is the essence? I mean, to be honest, what it has to do with you. Sometimes we think that it's a compulsory to do the practice, but we try to take the essence from these 6 deities. Now, for example, right, in the 6 deities, practice, the point is the point is, for example, you are visualized as the deity, right? You are visualized as the deity, and then all the what you hear, the sound, all the sound is seen as the mantra, the sound of the mantra. Your mind is infused, your mind is mixed with the compassion, your mind is mixed with compassion and the wisdom of emptiness. Now, in this very life, this kind of 6th generation of the 6 deities really help us. The more while we are alive, the more we engage into this practice, the more we dissolve into this practice, what really happens is, then in the Bardo, it helps. Not only that while we are alive, it does help. Even after we go to a strange place after this life, when we go to the strange place, the place called intermediate state or Bardo state. In this state now, it helps us see all the appearances as the deities. You are able to see all the appearance, the forms, the manifestations, there are different kinds of the fears, the guardians, holding the deadly, kind of the weapons in their hand. You are going to see so many things in the Bardo experience. All this you are able to ascertain, you are able to see as the manifestation of the deities. Whatever you hear, the the sound like hum hum, right? He, and then kill, strike. All these you will hear these things. All these are just the sound of the mantra of the deities. So this will help, because, and then you know. So like this. So therefore, right when we are alive, we need to train in these things. Then when the time comes that we have to travel to the different world, different place, then we have enough confidence, we have enough conviction that we are able to implement or integrate what we have heard, what we have contemplated, what we have meditated while we are alive. So there are different ways of seeing the things as mere illusion, even while we are alive. Once we are able to see the things as mere illusion, the mere kind of the illusions, the apparitions, and then later on, when the time comes, we are ready. We are totally ready. Otherwise, what really happens is, there's a, we can also talk about the power practice, right? In the, for example, say somebody passes away, right? Then we bring one photo. In the power practice, or sometimes we call purification practice. In the purification practice, what really involved is we get the image of the deceased. With the image of the deceased, then if the qualified master try to hook the consciousness of the deceased, and then try to hook the consciousness and try to put into the image, the photo, and then the Bardo is introduced. The Bardo teaching is introduced to that person, image, and then later on the Pova instruction is being given. But then that is rare. That is pretty rare. Because in the Bardo you have no control. Everything is controlled by karma, the power of the karma and delusion. How can you go as you like? Yeah, you can do. If you want to go somewhere, you can go. But in the Bardo, it's not like that. Because of the subtlety of the body that you have, it won't allow you to do as what you like. Because of the very interestingly, the Bardo beings, they do have the body, they have the eye, they have the ear, they have everything, but there's no blood, there's no bone, there's no flesh. It's like rainbow body, but still not rainbow body. It look like everything is extremely subtle. Therefore, Bardo beings cannot eat as we do. Therefore, Bardo being, what they do is what they eat, smell. The smell is the food they enjoy. So this is so Bardo is a very strange phenomena. It does exist, no doubt. So to make the things short, there are many ways to train. We need to train in this, while we are alive. Train in seeing all the things as mere illusion. Then finally, we are able to do easily when we are in the Bardo, right? So this one. So with this, I will complete the Bardo chapter. A lot of has to be said, has to be talked about the Bardo. Yeah. Bardo is a vast subject. It's a really vast subject. It's a really profound, subject. And also there are many practices, really wonderful practice in the Bardo. But then, we don't need to go all, these things, just trying to, seeing all the things as mere illusion is enough, seeing all the things, Bardo appearances, the Bardo, all the Bardo is, the sound is the mantra, the beings as the deities, the environment as the pure land. That's enough. Yeah. Then let us continue with our, our actual, topic, which is we are talking about or discussing about the 10 non-virtuous actions. I have only covered 2. I haven't covered that yet 3. Which is the third one is the sexual misconduct. I think I better won't touch this topic. Right? I will do sometime later. Okay. Now I will talk about the from the speech. Speech. From the speech, I will talk about the speech. The first of the 4, which is the telling lies or making false claim, telling lies. Telling lies. So this, although I'm not going into detail, this telling lies, because it takes a lot of time. It consumes I think you also roughly know the 10 one the act of telling lies. But I will introduce, I will talk about a little bit of story related with the act of telling lies or making false claim, right? Now, the very purpose, what are the benefits of, it is, of course, when we talk about, the non-virtues of telling lies or making false claim, one of the unique benefits is we not only refrain from telling lies, but also we tell truthfully, honestly. That's really important. If you talk truthfully, if you refrain from telling lies and talk, tell truthfully, what are the benefits? Even in this very life, somebody who talk, telling lie here and there, that person is not, right. Is not a reliable person. Nobody wants to share. If you, not only refrain from, telling lies, but also, tell truthfully, what are the benefits is because even if you say something, sometimes we talk about, the lot of, the advanced rituals, may my life be full of happiness, the joy, everything goes smoothly, nicely, without, may I live, long life, longevity. We do, right? But here, if we refrain from telling lies and tell truthfully, honestly, what really happened is, whatever you say. Now, in my life, I refrain from telling lies. I tell others truthfully. What really happened is, may I live long. May I live long. It will help you live long. may I have resources, may I have plenty of wealth. If you say this, you will have wealth. Right? Not only this, you also say, may you live long, may you have, full of prosperity, may your life be full of success. That person enjoyed us, full of success. Right? Let me tell a beautiful story. Right? Before Buddha Shakyamuni came into this earth, before Buddha Shakyamuni came into this world, there were 8 rishis, there were 8 sages, priest, 8 sages. There were 8 sages, the priests, they are called priests. These 8 sages stay in one place, stay in one place with a thick, dense forest. These 8 rishis or sages live in a thick, dense forest. So in that area, in that place or area, there also was one king. That king was elected as a king by all the people. So now here, one day, the king take a walk around this thick forest and dense forest. He takes a walk, just to pass his time. He took a walk. And then the king learned, what's going on today? I don't hear any, the sound of the birds. Usually he hear the sound of the birds every day. The king hear the sounds of the birds, But today the king was, a little bit shocked to learn that there was not a single sound of the bird. Then the king, asked his minister, what happened today? There were no sounds in this forest. Then the minister said, these birds make all the sound day and night, which disturb these 8 sages, which disturb the meditation of these 8 sages. Therefore, these 8 sages say the words of truth, because the birds, they all the neck, cannot make the sound, they all the neck get blocked, and they all the wings, get broken. The king was upset. How dare to harm the animals? That's not really good. How dare the person who harmed these animals? And then he asked his minister, who did this? These 8 rishis. These are the work of the 8 sages, because these birds make all the noises day and night, which disturb the meditators, these 8 meditators. So with the words of truth, because the things really happen, right? Because these 8 rishis, they never tell lie. They tell truthfully, honestly. Because of the power of their speech, things really happen. Then the king was upset. Now, from now onwards, you all the sages cannot stay in this forest. Not only you cannot stay in this forest, you are not allowed, you are not permitted to stay in this world. This world belongs to me. I own this world. What to do? Right. Now here, this world, we have the 4 continents, right? Because 4 continents, Mount Meru in the center, yeah. Mount Meru, here is the Mount Meru, right? Mount Meru in the center, right? Mount Meru in the center, and then there is one continent. We have 4 continents. One continent. Our continent is here. Our continent is here, right? And there's the 4 sides, one continent, and north, one continent. East, west, east, south, west, north. So in each of these direction has 4 continents located each of the continent. So now these sages, 8 sages, because they cannot stay in the east, the continent. This continent, they escape through miraculous power. They escape to the west continent. Again, the king followed. And before he followed, the king said, now this continent, it belongs to me actually. Now, is there any place that it does not belong to me? Then the minister said, yes, there is a one continent. There is a one continent called, the west continent. So these 8, sages escaped to the west continent. The king also followed. The king, because the king is not an ordinary king. The king is a universal king. We call Chakravarti. These days, there is no Chakravarti on this earth. In olden time, there is a Chakravarti who rule many continents. So this king is the Chakravarti. So he bring all the army with him, and he traveled to the south continent. He conquered south continent. Now the king said, you 4 sages, you cannot stay in the south continent. It also belongs to me. I conquer it. Now the 8 sages now escape to where? Escape to north continent. Again, the king followed and conquered the north continent. You cannot stay here. You cannot stay in this continent. It also belongs to me. Now, the 8 sages. The king was giving a hard time on these 8 sages. Now the 8 sages finally escaped to north, right? Then again, the king conquered the north continent, and then he moved to the east. Again, the 8 sages traveled to the east continent. The king followed, conquered the east continent. Again, now you cannot stay here. This is my continent. This is my place. Where to go? The 8 sages. All the continent are conquered by the king. Now in the center, now these 8 sages now come to the Mount Meru. Mount Meru, there's one mountain. Again, the king came to the Mount Meru. He conquered the Mount Meru. Now there, these 8 sages tried to go to the Pure Land. 33 realm Pure Land. They decided to, travel to 33 Pure Land. Again, they discussed. Now, while these 8 sages, through miraculous power, they're trying to, go to the Pure Land, the king followed after them. Now, these 8 sages, and they discussed, now the king is going to give a hard time on us. We have to do something. Then these 8 sages, all together say the words of truth. Now, may they write on a one golden wheel. They write on a one golden wheel. All this army, the king and all the army, may your will stuck in the middle of the middle of the sky. When they say this, the king, the golden wheel gets stuck. It cannot move now. Now the king, get worried. The king got worried. Who did this? Who did these things? Our our will is not moving now. Now the minister said, it is the 8 rishis, the 8 sages done this. Then this the king, the king realized that he made the mistake. He realized that he made a mistake, and he apologized. These 8 sages, please let me go, my chariot, my will. From now onwards, you are free to stay everywhere where you want to stay. Where you want to stay, you are free. Where you want to live, you can do as you wish. Right? With this, when the king, the king said this, now they, display the miraculous power on the sky. They, their body, from the upper part of the body, there comes the fire. They let the fire comes from the upper part of the body, and from the lower part of the body, the water. The fire and water exist simultaneously, defying the law of physics. So they displayed in this way, they pass away into nirvana. They pass away, they died. Right? So this story tells that if we not only refrain from making false claim or telling lies, if you also tell others truthfully, tell honestly, whatever you say you have the power to listen by others. Not only whatever you make the prayer for the benefit of others, this prayer come into real. This is the power of telling the truth. Right? So there are many other stories to be told. So I don't go into all this. One is enough. So with this, I have other, we have other, we have other like, telling lies, I've already covered, and then, creating the schism or, disharmony, the non-virtuous, which is from the speech, and also, gossiping, and then using the, harsh words or unpleasant words, and then we have other 3 from the minds, which, I will, talk some other time, right now, due to the shortage of the, time, I have no time to cover all these things in one session. So now with this, I will move to another topic, right? Study, reflection, and meditation. All of these should go one after the another. Right, all of this should go one after the another. Because the study becomes very important, because the reason why study becomes very important is that if you don't study, what really happens is, if you were to practice, if we really were to practice, how do we go about practicing without acquiring the information, karma information? right? And and so therefore it is very important to study. Because through study, many of the misknowing, the misconceptions, misapprehension, unknowing, all this, we call as ignorance, dispelled. All these are dispelled. Sometimes, if we do a study, if we do understand the Dharma, then sometimes, we have, sometimes, we hear the things like, if we meditate for 10 days, you will become enlightened. If you meditate on 1 month, you will develop the spiritual experience. You will get the spiritual power. Within 1 year, you become this Buddha and that Buddha. Right. I say these are maybe true, maybe not true. Who knows? But if we do study, step by step, if we do really study step by step, we develop more conviction. We develop more conviction that there is no push button, magic push button, miraculous push button. Here, don't think, when we talk about spiritual experience, the spiritual realization, we do not expect that we have a credit card, we have the debit card. When we put in the machine, you get the things right away. If we put into the, coffee shop, right, you get the bottled water, coffee, you get the bottled water, things. In this internal world, it's not like this. In the internal world, things should come one after the another. Things should begin with step by step, right? So therefore, study becomes really important and crucial. Again, now, we hear the Dharma, here and there, we hear the teachings, Is it enough? Is it just enough? Is that, give you a peace of mind? Is it enough? Now, when we do study, the motivation becomes very important. The motivation becomes crucial, very, very important. If we do not have pure motivation, the motivation to seek the liberation, the motivation to be of, to achieve the enlightenment, to achieve the Buddhahood, to bring some benefit for others, to achieve, to achieve the liberation or nirvana for yourself. With this kind of motivation, if you do the study, your study becomes really, on the right track, the right direction. However, if you just, study just for, other purpose, then, sometimes, what really happens is we have studied for so long, so many years. For example, in my case, I studied for so many years. If I do not have this pure thought, pure motivation, whatever I studied becomes the cause of arrogance for myself, the cause of arrogance. The whole study, the essence, the essential point of studying is spoiled because I do not have pure motivation. So therefore, pure motivation is highly necessary. When we do study, we need to do study and with a pure motivation, right? Then, you know, with the pure motivation, we do study. Now that is that enough? No. It's not enough. Now what we need to do is, the second step is to reflection, contemplation, reflection. That is second really important, right? Now, you know, say the teacher say life is important. The teacher say the life is, you know, precious. The teacher talks about the impermanent. The teacher talks about emptiness. The teaching, you know, we need to contemplate, reflect. You know, we need to contemplate and reflect about the impermanent. When the teacher talk impermanent, you know, now because many of knowledge sometimes remain only at the intellectual understanding alone. That alone is not enough for making progression, for making the total transformation. To gain the transformation, now, for example, impermanent. When we talk about impermanent, what really is impermanent? Right? What really is impermanent? There's one student. The student has some kind of, he has some sickness. Then the student was a little bit worried. There's one person who is really worried, because he is going through some sickness. So the teacher said, oh, why you are worried? Actually, you should have expected. You should have expected this kind of sickness. Right. Then the students say, why? Because because if you do not want sickness, if you do not want old age, if you do not want the problem, if you do not want trouble, if you do not want any kind of pain and suffering, why worry so much? Just destroy the cause. Just go through the ignorance and destroy the ignorance. You are totally freed. Not only in this life after lifetime, you are freed from all the miseries. Don't worry. Why worry? We have the method. We have the solution. We worried, right? Try to go to the pinpoint. Right? So therefore, Buddha said that, if you do not want all these, unwanted things, just go to the root. Why worried and trying to, find a small solution? Just go to the root. So this is what Buddha, try to, taught. Right. When we talk about the impermanent, there are the moment we think about the impermanent, it really gives the sense of flexibility, the sense of relaxedness, the sense of total peace. Sometimes people misunderstand the impermanent for saying something unpleasant things. No, this is talking impermanent is all talking about the positive. when we talk about the impermanent, when we talk about the emptiness, selflessness, emptiness, it is all about the encouragement, the inspiration. The inspiration is, what kind of inspiration is? If you try to study impermanent, emptiness, reflect on the impermanent, and meditate on impermanent and selflessness, what it has to do with you is, because from the moment we begin to meditate on impermanent, study, reflect, and meditate on impermanent and emptiness, from that onwards, our problem, or mainly our problem, the problem continue to reduce day by day, because you know how to see the looks from the holistic angle. We try to learn to see the situation from all the holistic angle, all the many angles, So therefore, meditation, study, reflection, and meditation on impermanent and emptiness really is, they really, shake our belief, shake our belief that all things are something solid. There's no solid thing. We suffer because we believe in solid things. We believe something is right there, We talk about for immeasurable, right? So first we need to have equanimity. We develop equanimity. How do we develop equanimity, right? On the basis of equanimity, we are able to develop love for others, the compassion for others. Without equanimity, how can we develop the qualified equanimity? If we do believe that enemy is something long-lasting, once close ones are long-lasting, how can we develop the equanimity when we do see that things are permanent? Friend is close one is permanent, enemy is permanent, it will remain forever, I will remain forever, everything remain forever. There's no basis for developing the qualities without training equanimity. How do we develop love? How do we develop compassion? The universal compassion, the unbiased love, Without this, how are we going to cultivate bodhicitta, altruistic mind? So therefore, the teaching on impermanence is really profound. With the teaching on the impermanent and emptiness, Vajrayana teachings, Yamantaka, Goya Samaja, Charasamvara, the great perfection, Dzogchen, right? The path and fruit in Sakya tradition, Mahamudra, right? Many highest Yoga Tantra teaching all make sense if we do have good understanding of impermanent and good understanding of emptiness and experience of impermanent and experience of emptiness. All this makes sense. Otherwise, without touching these fundamental the teachings, in some ancient times, they do have this. They have all the tantras, Tantra alone is not amazing. Without, if you are shortage of these, fundamental things, Tantra alone is not something marvelous, amazing. We feel the flavor of the Vajrayana practice because of renunciation, because of the wisdom, because of the bodhicitta, bodhidharma. These three, if no longer exist, Tantra is so. Vajrayana is also practice, right? So therefore, again, with pure motivation, we need to, we need to reflect. We need to think about the here. On the one hand, we talk about the impermanent, right? The wisdom, the emptiness. This teaching, by understanding this teaching, by practicing this teaching, it really helps to destroy the very root of all the pain and suffering. Not only in this life, life after lifetime, with understanding in impermanent, with understanding and the practice in impermanent and the practice in wisdom. Many of the problem, many of the pain, the trouble, and all these are gone. Not only in this life after life, it is gone. Now, on the other hand, we talk about love. We talk about universal love, and compassion, bodhicitta. What are these? These helps us to cultivate the happiness. It helps us to fulfill the happiness of yourself. Now you see, on the one hand, meditation on impermanent and meditation on impermanent emptiness help us to remove the suffering, and then love, compassion, bodhicitta help us to fulfill the happiness. This is the how to say, this is the very purpose of our survival. Not only the survival, this is the very purpose of our existence. This is we all have innate wish to feel happy. We are in pursuit of this, to be happy, to get rid of suffering. And then from the wider understanding, from the wider perspective, right, to achieve enlightenment. To achieve enlightenment, you need emptiness. You need the wisdom of impermanent, wisdom of emptiness, without which there is no enlightenment, And also the bodhicitta, love, compassion, all these things are needed, right? And then, now, is it enough that we just reflected, we just think about these things? No. Again, you need to meditate. If you don't meditate, then what happens? Then that, just leave positive imprint. But if you don't meditate, there's no much transformation. Not, maybe we do the things, for certain period of time, and then after that we lost interest. Sometimes this happens, First we, out of curiosity, out of through kind of, emotions, we try to do something, practice, and after a while we lost interest. Why? Because we are not able to appreciate the impermanent, which is so crucial in our life. So that happens, right? So therefore, meditation is highly necessary if you really wanted to make some transformation in this very life. Not only in this life, after lifetime, right? So with this, I think, yeah. So although I have to say some more things, So one short story I will tell you. Okay, one day there is a great, Kadamba master, Podova. I think you already know the Podova, the master Podova, Dromdamba. I think many of you know the Dromdamba, who is the chief disciple of Adisha, right? Dromdamba, Dromdamba was staying in one of the place, So there's one, another student. So this another student, he was looking for a very high practice, He wanted to do the high practice. He was looking for a very high practice, He wanted to do some high practice. So then he keep on searching, one monastery after another monastery, He was searching on one, the teacher to another teacher, just to learn, just to learn the high practice, very advanced practice, high practice. So then he come, with, by doing this, he finally arrived at this Padava's, place, this master Padava, Isha Padava. So then, the master said, do you have any high practice or, esoteric advanced practice? I want to learn. I want to practice. Otherwise, I won't stay here. I'm going, very soon. If you have, teach me. Then Padava thought, okay, yeah, you stay for 1 month. I will teach. And then he, Padava, gave teaching on the refuge, the law of karma and all this. My goodness. And this, the Padava then, Drumdaba then said this, and Drumdaba, try to teach, refuge and the law of karma and all these things, the fundamental teachings. And then Padava said, oh, that's not impressive, that is not what I want, I'm looking for. Now, if you have any advanced teaching, you just give me, otherwise I will go right tomorrow. I will leave. Then, Drumdaba said, don't do this, don't do this. Just stay for a month. I will fulfill your, aspiration. I will fulfill your need. Then slowly, Drumdaba gradually, very skillfully, he taught the refuge, he taught the law of karma, and then step by step, he, bring to the, Mahayana practice. Then, this Padava really find some interest, really, teaching is really marvelous, amazing teaching. When the teaching is, so in this way, Drumdaba gave the whole Lamrim teaching to Master Padava. Now Drumdaba said, now you can go. What did Padava said? From now onwards, I will not take even a single step. Now give me more Lamrim teaching. Now I want to learn more. So this I study, usually, I also, study many texts, I really study a different kind of text. But then also, I study Tantra, I also, study Tantra. But Lamrim, I also studied Lamrim, I taught Lamrim, but really, it's really wonderful, practice. A wonderful, very impressive, amazing, practice. Amazing, study. You will find a lot of interesting things. Of course, it is not for interest, it is for, that disciplining or taming, your mind. But just alone, going through this, it makes you delight. It makes you happy. It's so interesting inside Lamrim, If you don't find interesting, then it's a different case. Once you find interesting, is really, really powerful. Lamrim teaching is powerful. Full of, you will full of joy in listening and practicing Lamrim. I enjoyed Lamrim. I enjoyed Lamrim very much. So anyway, with this, I think hopefully, stop here, and then I will do some prayer. If you have question, one or two, one question is okay. I will take. Otherwise we have no time. I have to do some, dedication prayer. I will do some.
We do have one question from Ánh Sáng. Ánh Sáng, could you please talk directly to Ben? Ánh Sáng ơi, em có muốn nói với thầy không?
Okay. Hello, Vance. I want to ask questions. Yes. Thank you so much for your teaching about this Bardo topic. And I have the question that you are teaching about we should practice 6 days when we have the human body. And we should meditate, imitate that everyone around us, like the Buddha and the people, they are protecting us. And actually, in our normal life, when I have to meet the people, to meet some things in the situations, should I meditate that I am in the Pure Land and the people around me, they are like the dancing, they are coming to us, and the sound I am listening, and the sound we are listening every day, some sound is very peaceful and some sound is very noisy and crazy. So should I imitate that? That sound should be awareness about that. This is for me to prepare when I am in the battle, because sometimes I feel very, very scary in the real life. Yes, and thank you so much.
Yeah, I didn't hear it. Yeah, the voice is not, maybe some technical, the voice sometimes breaks, the sound breaks. Actually, yeah, yeah. Usually, of course, any kind of practice helps. Sometimes, what really happens is in our lifetime we do so many practice. We do many, practice. Of course, it's very good. Doing so many practice are very good, but we need to keep with one practice. One practice, and then because what really happens is at the last moment, things are not easy. In the last moment, different kinds of thoughts arise. In the last moment, different kinds of thought arises. It's also, of course, the last moment, right? And also we are traveling to the another place, strange place. So therefore, if we do so many practice, also different kinds of thoughts arise. We keep the one strong practice, which is something very, hard to you, stable practice. And then if you keep, then if you can, then you can do other practice, but usually keep one practice, and then it is easier for you to familiarize, to familiarize your mind, to put more time and energy in this particular practice. And then in the last minute, we are easy to recall that practice, easy to remember the practice, right? Otherwise, if so many practices, which one to choose, right? In the last moment, different kinds of thought arise. Oh, this one is powerful. Oh, this one is powerful. With no idea, right? If we put more, time and energy in a particular practice, then you. Okay. Yeah, I think this is idea. Usually, yeah, we call, the practice that I explained, is, you will find in the, also in some, Vajrayana practice, right? And also, six generation of the 6 deities, yeah, actually, there's on the syllables, they on the moon cushion, there's some mantras, and there's some mantras, making the sound, sound. So the more you familiarize with this steady practice, it not only help you because you are more habituated, you more familiarize this particular practice, and then this will then help in the Bardo, right? But this is not for just for just for a short time, it takes you, because we are talking about the spiritual journey. It takes time, but still it's a worthwhile. Right. Okay. Yeah, then we do the dedication prayer, right? Dedication prayer. So whatever we do, I have given this, Dharma lecture in the form of discussion, right? So whatever Dharma activities we do, it should be complete with the two action. The first, the motivation. At the end is the dedication, right? So we do the dedication prayer, right? So I do from the so 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 dedication prayer. So it says, I will explain. Yeah. So whatever we the merit that we have created by on your part listening to the Dharma discussion. On my part, I explain the Dharma, the teaching in the form of discussion. You listening. So we may have created the kind of merit, some merit. So we dedicate this merit for the for the attainment of enlightenment of yourself, right?
Then before
Yeah.
we move to dedication, there is another questions. Can you take
Okay.
time to answer one more question, please?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No problem. Yeah.
Okay, so the questions is from Gelton Seru, and he asked that why there is some places that very easy for him to meditate, and but but then there is there's some place and or location is that really hard for him to meditate. So why is the difference like that? So what is the factor that influence our meditations? Yeah, between those locations.
Mm. So yeah, this usually when we are doing meditation, especially the called retreat, retreat. So retreat usually it is recommended for the isolate place, an isolate place, some blessed place, blessed place. So usually yeah, some quiet place, or there are some places recommended for those meditators, but here in your case, you say some place not ideal for you, some again it has to do with uh, mm, some mm, for example for me uh, for me, for example, some I prefer more kind of uh, some kind of old place, old place, where the some old temple, old place. I prefer in this, I feel more connected, I feel more blessed. So see, in your case, some location, you feel more connected. It has to do with some kind of karma, for some karma, uh, for some person, then for some place, you don't want, maybe not, that place not, not karmically connected with you, karmically connected with you, right? Some place, I mean something to do with the karma, but we if you tell me, the details of karma is difficult to tell, but it's definitely, it has to do with karma. Some place, you preferred, maybe you may have visited, in past life, in past life, you like this place, you may have stayed, right? And then, especially for spiritual, if you want to do some spiritual place, some person, a specific location is good for, spiritual experience. Some location not good, for example, in my case, for spiritual, to feel connected with the practice, also the environment makes different, right? So in your case, something to do with the karma, because when you due to the condition, when the condition is there, your karma is ripened. When the karma is ripened, you don't like the place, and then when you specific place, if your karma is karma to the karma is ripened, then you like the place. So you have at least some karma created, some place you don't like. In this way, in which case you have some karma which may not like this place. If you like this place, the karma to like the place, that particular place has activated. So this, it depends on the karma. This is what karma makes. For example, some people, when they see the ocean, when they see the high altitude, they're afraid. Right? Maybe that person has to, in one of the past life, that person has, died from that cliff. Therefore, when they see, actually, then afraid, some people, afraid of, going in the ocean. It's a karma. Is that clear? Okay, then, yeah. If it is okay, then, yeah, we will, I will go through, some of the dedication prayer, right? Oh, so you also, if you can, meditate, is meditate good. If you cannot meditate, it's okay. I will read. I will read in some dedication prayer. First, let. Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. Do some dedication prayer. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bodhicitta prayer. Then emptiness, yeah, prayer.
ma ye ba na han ye nyo ji ye ba nyen ba me ba ya ko ni ko no ko te wa shu ye wan ye ge wu ge so na ye shi zo ho sa de so na ye shi le chu wa ba ba gu ni tho ba shu tu wa ta ni te ba ta te ba da ni ri ba yi ta ni se je kan che ki ne na gu ya shi yo ji sa so jung wa che bo ta nai pa hi lo ta pa ya se che ta tôi me pa yi na ma nye se shi ya cho ji se na pa ni ba ro wa te si ne yo ba te si da ni ne yo ro re du ni se wa shu te na ji zi la ma tu ji ji ma yu ro re di di ma le tan da 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 ni ba tan đại nghĩa đế chế ta va rồi đế đại đế bài chỉ kia Hên địa chung ni tiên bảo ta xin ye tiên thị kế hội tam chế quang cang sa lü chế yun la ni kế chung về ni sang ye tiên bảo ta tu ye yo ji ro về du ye me chi bu Deva Tanje Juvene Deva Nyeta Kuti Chete Yuri Nenuji. Pray for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So ye sha be si de ba du ye de yu ji me jolo tu sambo ye ye lo ji me dai ji che gi ji ye wa ma de lo ve cho 조다예 샤데쇼 I will do the kind of dedication prayer. Yeah. First, let me do the flourishing of the Buddha's teaching on this earth for a long time. Yeah, I will do the Buddha's teaching flourish on this earth. There's some. Semje pamba jabe che yure demba ba yoje moda langje shinda pa dinje changzhou che dangwe demba yure ba yoje da ye sanje rang sanje nyinde pa da ma da bin chang song da la che che be yure demba ba yoje Yewa chewa tu marta bunya na so nyong jo je chang jo den do te je le yewa yu ne ba jo je na ye de shuo zhe zheng da ga do yu ren zhe ju je cho je san ye nye che be yu de ba ba yu je Sudu dadu ne je she, sen je nyamo nyingma yi, sen je nye je sui je we, ling ba yu ring ba yu je, ta nye dun de tang den be, dadu den ji pa ru nye, sen je tam je je den du, da de yu ring ba yu je, sambiya namdar sume da, dinze gangye che ye be, gombe tazo la ye ni, tenpa yu rin ba yu je, ye xue tendo la ye me, kato naga tenje she, tenje tomar nye tenbe, tenpa yu rin ba yu je, zebe yu ye sha cha ta, sowa yung su tang yu je, Nian la tang wa yi, chu zue lang ba pe yu ji, da nyue di pe sen je na, che pe se war ni che xin, te ba sum la ra ge pe, chu yi jin zhou ye yu ji, da nyue ta xie ge me na, sen je da nian le je xie, yang da da la ge yu pe, chen nian lang ba pe yu ji, da ye sen je du nian xie, niu mo me le ta je xie, da ye pe de je pe, da de ye re le yo je, yang da da la ye yo le, chu zhe na ba pe yo je, yo re de ma ba yo je, yo re de ma ba yo je. Then we will do the final dedication prayer. Yeah. Zhangbe ba yuan ji da yan ba da dun du sang bo de yang te xin de da yun ye je so da lo ji ye wa de da tam je ra do mo de sun xie bei ye wa tam je ge mo wa kan la chou do ma ba de da ye ye le za wa de ju jiang sang bo ju je ra do mo wa ge che ge ye wo dong ga be che je na ba be wa da ye ye si ma xi wa da tunje manglu sangwa sho dada shen ye tu sunda trebe tsonyi la tene yawa lo san cha bai rimba ju rimba ju ye dino rendu bele sonye de kadare yamba kanshi saba de no me mari ki don do wa yin namde ge be umbo da jo je tema so tsara pun yang de no jambe yang ge te be je so ne tamba ram no rimba kun sa lam ge cho ye ne tu be ge na nye je sho bang ge ji shin to be lam ge ne sho da tse be chang be tab ge ge de be yi ki rimba se che ne ge be tamba ju ne ba jo ji tamba rin je sho ye ma jang cho yang cham yang nyam yo ju be ne de 니지 전부 이라 교와에 올라 된데 때에서 잡아줘. 그래서 이게 매주 전에 리도 장교 남기는데 약하게 나게 이라 배에 개베 잡아 리도 교교시. 남산들에 되게 조제 이게서 저저네는 게 살아도 되게가 나와요. 남다 저거 맞지. 감지 딱 맞춰서 조제. 수신도 같은 거 뭐데 근데 남게도 도저히 다시 저거 당기게 되죠.
Can I have some rice? Can I have the rice? Yeah. Yeah. Or the auspicious, yeah. Yeah.
Inside the house.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Auspicious, yeah. I will sprinkle, yeah. Just more, yeah. Here I will do. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
The rice that God gives to us.
베다즈와 메게베 이신노고 바산신 semjerewa konzebe sambadu betashi sho nyumondele tsendele nimegona dele shi nyeje dado dele be kunjo semje tashi sho yeah. This, yeah. Okay, then. Oh, me, no santa shala so
we dedicate this merit, that all the merit that we have accumulated so far through listening and explaining the Dharma teachings or discussions. We dedicate the merit for the flourishing of the Buddha's teaching on this earth for a long time, and that we are guided by qualified Mahayana spiritual masters life after lifetime, and that we dedicate all this merit for the well-being of all the sentient beings. Okay. Okay, done. Thank you.
Lại để có một số thông tin nè.
Yeah, then
Thank you very much for all your teaching. I just have a few announcements, if you don't mind. So, first of all, today is the last day of class of Zoom class. So we will take a break due to the Lunar New Year, and also for us students in organizers in the U.S. to prepare for Rinpoche's upcoming event at the end of February. So the next class will be beginning of March, in which Gyalten Rinpoche will be teaching. So we will request Gyalten Rinpoche to teach, and if you have any input into what you'd like to learn, then please let us know. So that we can make that request to Rinpoche. Dạ, xin thưa với tất cả mọi người là hôm nay là cái lớp cuối cùng của năm nay. Tại vì để cho mọi người chuẩn bị Tết, đón Tết, và đồng thời cũng cho ban tổ chức ở bên Mỹ có thời gian để chuẩn bị cho cái pháp hội tháng 2 này của thầy. Và cái lớp kế tiếp ở trên Zoom sẽ là bắt đầu vào đầu tháng 3. Và lúc đó thì ngài Ken Gyalten Rinpoche sẽ đích thân giảng dạy. Và nếu mà các đạo hữu mà có muốn học về cái gì, có thể cho ý kiến để cho ban tổ chức biết, để ban tổ chức có thể thỉnh thầy. Thì lẽ dĩ nhiên là khi thỉnh thầy là một chuyện, nhưng mà thầy muốn dạy cái gì thì cái đó là ý của thầy. Cho nên là dạ, xin mọi người nhớ nếu mà có nguyện vọng hoặc là muốn học về cái gì đó thì xin cho ban tổ chức biết. Dạ, tức là từ bây giờ hôm nay là ngày cuối và cái lớp kế tiếp sẽ là đầu tháng 3 và ngài Gyalten sẽ giảng dạy. Một điều kế tiếp nữa là xin cảm ơn tất cả mọi người đã hết lòng hết tâm để mà tụng 1 triệu minh chú Bát Nhã. Thực sự là cái điều này rất là vui mừng, là tại vì cô Trăng cũng muốn chia sẻ một vài điều với mọi người, là thực sự năm nay đầu năm mình có cái cơ hội để mà hùng phước, kia là tạo kia là phước đức, và bằng cách là Sơn Bảo Tháp. Mọi người hùng phước Sơn Bảo Tháp thì cái đó là cái phước đức mình sẽ tạo ra, và đồng thời mình tạo được cái công đức. Cái công đức là cái mà mình đang tụng chú một triệu biến Bát Nhã Tâm Kinh. Cho nên là không có cái điều gì mà cát tường bằng năm nay mà đầu năm mà mình thực hiện được cả hai, vừa tạo phước đức và vừa tạo công đức, rất là lớn lao. Thành ra là rất là cảm ơn tất cả mọi người đã hoan hỷ mà tham gia cả hai cái điều cát tường này. Cho nên là cũng Trang chỉ kêu là bộc bạch vài lời về cái đạo tràng Madhutara. Mình rất là may mắn mà được có cái duyên để mà làm được những cái điều này vào cái ngày mùng 1 Tết. Và cũng xin thông báo là tại vì cái chương trình của ngài Ken, ngài sẽ không có về kịp vào ngày 12 tây tháng 2, cho nên là cái ngày đó mình sẽ dời lại, và có thể là 15 hoặc là 16 thì mình đang đợi để mà thỉnh ý của thầy cái ngày nào hợp cho thầy, để mà tại vì thầy trở về Mỹ, thầy còn có thời gian để nghỉ ngơi. Cho nên là cái buổi lễ mà hồi hướng cả hai phần công đức và phần phước đức, để mà 1 triệu biến chú Bát Nhã, và đồng thời là cái Sơn Bảo Tháp thì cái ngày đó sẽ đổi, không phải là ngày 12 tháng 2 nữa. Yeah. The other thing I like to mention is it is very precious that Mother Tara has an opportunity this year on the first day of the Lunar New Year to be able to create some merits by the painting of the Bunat stupa. Very, very precious thing that we are able to do that. And also, thank you so much for everyone in participating in that project, as well as participating in the chanting of the Heart Sutra, 1 million Heart Sutra mantra. It is so great to be able to create so much merits on both of these. And we are overjoyed, very, very glad that everyone is able to participate, and that Mother Tara is a cause to let everyone create this merit. I'm so happy for everyone. But I also wanted to let everyone know that originally we were going to do the dedication for both of these projects on February 12th, but that will be changed due to the fact that Ken Rinpoche will not be back in time. So we are waiting to see whether we change it to either the 15th or the 16th of February. Okay, so that's that. And then also we're looking for support, even though the event is in San Jose, but any support that anyone can do, either to pass the words around your friends and, you know, faraway relatives in the US so that they may attend. We will try to have it live stream or videotape. So at this point, there's no promises. But if you can pass the words on, and then if any donations for the expenses for the event would be greatly appreciated. Dạ cũng xin thông báo với tất cả mọi người là tháng 2, vào cuối tháng 2, ngày 24-25 tháng 2 thì ban tổ chức bên Mỹ sẽ có cái pháp hội cũng tương tự như là pháp hội mà thầy Gelton vừa giảng dạy ở bên Việt Nam, là về Quán Thế Âm và Bạch Tài Bảo. Thì mong rằng mọi người cùng hưởng ứng để mà có thể là thông báo với lại bạn bè người thân ở bên Mỹ, hoặc là mặc dù là hầu hết là mọi người đều ở Việt Nam, nhưng mà nhiều khi có người thân bạn bè ở bên Mỹ, để cho họ có cái cơ hội để mà học được cái pháp môn này. Thực sự là cả hai đều rất là quan trọng, tại vì Bạch Tài Bảo là hóa thân của Quán Thế Âm, và cái lòng từ bi. Thực sự năm nay Trang rất vui là mình đã được xin thầy để mà tụng chú Bát Nhã, và cái lòng từ bi của mẹ Quán Âm thì là vô bờ bến. Cho nên là hy vọng là mọi người có thể quảng bá. Thứ nhất là quảng bá, thứ hai là có thể hùng phước để mà góp phần vào cái quảng bá pháp và góp phần vào cái chi phí cho cái pháp hội. Thì thực sự mọi người cũng biết là đạo tràng Mother Tara mình từ xưa đến nay cái tiêu chỉ vẫn là tùy hỷ cúng dường, cho nên là không bao giờ mà bắt buộc phải đóng tiền để mà học pháp hay cái gì hết. Nhưng mà khi mà cần thì rất là hoan hỷ là mọi người đều hưởng ứng. Cho nên là nếu mà các vị mà có cái khả năng mà có thể đóng góp để mà cho cái pháp hội ở bên Mỹ được thành công thì cũng xin rất là hoan hỷ. Dạ, thưa xin cảm ơn tất cả mọi người ạ. Dạ, thank you so much for everyone. So also, just want to make sure everyone understands we only achieved 780,000 mantra, the Heart Sutra mantra. So it's not quite there yet, but we believe that we can achieve the 1 million by the time next week, sometimes next week. Okay. Dạ thưa mọi người, là mình chỉ tụng mới được có 780 triệu chú thôi, nhưng mà thực sự đó là một con số cũng rất là ngạc nhiên, là tại vì mình cũng chưa có bắt đầu lâu lắm mà bây giờ mọi người đã cố gắng tụng đến 780.000 biến rồi. Thực sự là một cái kỷ lục đó. Cho nên là chưa xong nhưng mà sắp xong, thì Trang hy vọng là mọi người mình sẽ đủ 1 triệu biến. Còn nếu mà không đủ 1 triệu biến khi mà đến cái ngày mà ngài Ken để hồi hướng đó, thì mình có thể dời lại để cho ngài Ken hồi hướng trong cái pháp hội ở bên Mỹ. Dạ thưa, dạ xin cảm ơn tất cả mọi người. Mọi người nghỉ ngơi và có một cái năm mới thực sự là mà vạn sự tốt lành, mọi nhà được yên vui hạnh phúc và mọi điều được như ý nguyện. Dạ xin chào tất cả mọi người, mình hẹn nhau tháng 3 trên Zoom nhé. Dạ, thank you everyone. So we will see everyone back here in March on Zoom with Ken Rinpoche. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Wish everyone